Feels super nice just to relax after a long day of work.
You bet.
Too bad I have to go back to retail again.
Dude, Raven, trust me. The Viscera cleanup detail would give you a run for your money. Anywho's, anime, my good sir, I found it, just as you asked.
Nice, I finally have... Uh-oh.
What?
Karma, you're a cruel mistress.
Hello there everyone, this is the Animewolfgamer here, and let's get this out of the way. Yes, Dust An Elysian Tale is a title I wanted to play just because it has anthropomorphic animals in it. Kinda obvious because of my OC, right? Now this game doesn't just have the looks to capture my attention, it's also the gameplay style. It's a Metroidvania style RPG, and while I haven't played much of this style other than Metro Prime 3, it is enough to make me want the title so bad. I remember this game releasing on the good old Xbox 360. It was free for a moment on Xbox Live, but my brother didn't got a chance to renew our gold subscription, so I missed the chance to get it. Now this title's on the Nintendo Switch, so I went ahead and bought it, and a good thing too because it was on sale. Now let's play some Dust. Okay then, let's play some Dust An Elysian Tale.
The lone warrior stood against an army, slashing his way through all who opposed him. The mob stood no chance, and the soldier showed no mercy. But despite his victories, his skills, his ruthlessness...
Our story begins as we see a wandering warrior Dust waking up after something that happened in the village. Then suddenly a talking sword appears right in front of him. Yeah, I know. And said that he is the fated sword bearer. We are also introduced to Fidget, a Nimbat guardian who is the most adorable creature I have ever seen. Seriously, she is just too fucking cute that it's almost illegal. Together, they will embark on a journey to find out what Dust truly is while finding out why the race called the Moonbloods are being wiped out. Okay, as far as stories goes, how should I put this? It's one of the most cliche storylines that I have ever seen. Now, that is not to say it's awful, far from it. In fact, what kept me from being bored entirely is Dust and Fidget's relationship. I really love the interactions between these two, as they have some really funny moments that you just love in an adventure such as this.
Seriously? We're going after that jerk's laundry? We're going on a laundry quest?
I wouldn't want Gianni blaming that poor kid for what's happened. Come on, we'll kill some monsters on the way. It'll be great.
There is just enough sprinkle out that you just want to see how they interact with everything around them. However, when the plot comes in, hope you love massive plot dumps because that is what you're going to get for about 95% of the entire game. No cutscenes to make this better, just stand-still animated portraits talking to each other. That and Destiny, which I honestly hate as a massive plot device. It just makes the character's actions not his own, and that really bothers me. Granted, he's not a total Mary Sue, as he does show failures as a... I have no idea what kind of animal Dust is. I checked and I couldn't get a solid answer other than Moonblood, which I don't know what animal is that based on. But anyway, the story did get a little interesting by the end game, and that is what annoys me the most. You see, Dust turns out to be two people combined into one body. Yeah, you know how he is named Dust? Apparently it's symbolic as it represents two people fighting for the same body, which is why he couldn't remember anything. Here I was super invested and I wonder how they will handle this. They barely did. Okay, they sort of delve into it as the mystery unfolds, but once we got the answer, they kinda stop here. There is some personal thoughts Dust had to face, but when it's the final moments of the game, it wasn't really enough for him to accept his new role. This really felt rushed to me, and nothing is more evident than the main antagonist of the story, and that is Gaius. What a waste of potential he is. Now, him as a racist douchebag who thinks killing old Moonbloods is fine as a villain, but clearly there was more to him knowing that Cassius's body used to be Dust. I would've gave a shit more on their relationship had they had personal encounters from time to time, but nah, only in the end, and some cutscenes here and there. They barely touch upon this, and they only go on how wiping an entire race they hate will make their world better. Man, what a waste. The entire story just feels half-baked to me. A lot of the interesting story bits and most of them get chucked out as the game reaches its end. At least the side characters are kinda entertaining, with some having a bit of traumatic trauma affecting them. I will say this, I did get teary-eyed at the end. The final moment for Dust is a pretty sad thing to see. I just wish there's a lot more to it before that. Overall, the story is just very bleh to me. At the very least, our main characters are entertaining enough to go through all that baggage. Man, you can really tell the guy is inspired by anime because everything looks so gorgeous. The backgrounds has enough details to stand out, and the characters do look pretty decent with those anime looking eyes. This game just has a color vomit feel, which is a good thing as most clash pretty well. Attacks are very flashy and awesome, and the movements are pretty solid. I did notice how Dust seems to be fighting in his pajamas. Yeah, seriously, am I the only one who thought that? I know the color is also symbolic to his fate, but to me, it looks like he has gotten up at 6 AM in the morning being late to work. Also, there's a lot of CGI used here, but they look pretty solid enough. I mean, they don't stand out as much, but they are pretty noticeable. The voice acting is pretty top notch. The best thing about it is that everything is voice acted as far as I'm aware. None of it you have to read, which is nice because I don't think exposition dubs makes good readable material. Granted, you'll get some voices that seems a bit over the top, but for the most part, it's a pleasant to listen to. You wanna know what's amazing to find out? The merchant, who already has a Resident Evil 4 vibe, is voiced by the guy who is the announcer of Smash Brothers.
Please, accept this blueprint as a gift. Should you find a blacksmith and the necessary materials, they may be able to craft the item for you. I can offer you materials as well, though I'm not entirely sure what materials this land deems of value. I am not from around here, as I'm sure you've guessed by now.
Yes, the same announcer that voiced the Joker, Master Hand, Crazy Hand, is now the voice of the merchant in this game. I literally jumped for joy just hearing how damn good of an actor he is. So that is the voice acting, but how is the music? It's freaking epic. There are so many tracks ranging from soft to calming to loud and bombastic, and I get my gaming skills on every time I hear that epic fighting music. You can thank HyperDuck Studios for providing such great tunes. You guys rock on that department. Overall, graphics and sounds are high quality and it gets a seal of approval. Now, controls is always the most important thing for a combat-heavy RPG, with some platforming elements here and there. With that in mind, the controls are perfect. I think these are some of the most fine-tuned controls you'll get in an indie game. When you press the button, it will respond in quick succession, and that is important for fast-paced action, and it succeeded in that. Really, the only problem I have is making a parry attack. It's so hard to do because you need to attack and hold the button at the same time an enemy does it. I cannot tell you how much damage I have received because apparently I was too slow to react. Should have had a dedicated button there. Then we got the gameplay, and if you play any Metroidvania title, you'll feel right at home with this one. This game has a lot of focus on exploration and so forth. However, you are locked out for most of the areas until you get new abilities, which makes sense as Dust doesn't remember his full potential. But hey, it gives a lot of replay value as there is a lot of areas you can access once you get them, and they reward you with a lot of treasures. This ranges from money, blueprints for armor, and friends! Yes, there are references to other indie games back during the good old days of Xbox Live Arcade. I do recognize some of them, but never played any of their games, so didn't get much of the references during their platforming challenges. Kudos for the artists for making sure that exploring these places are not as tedious with the same backgrounds. That would have been annoying. As for the combat, it's pretty decent, but has a major flaw to it. Now, you basically have a 3-hit combo along with different ways to fight enemies, whether it's on the ground or in the air, but still feels the same. Now, you do have another attack option, and that is Fidget's projectiles. You get 3 of these, being small projectiles, large firestorms, and lightning! These are super helpful as the game can get quite hard with certain enemies. It can be pretty intense with so many enemies getting within range and damaging them from massive hit combos. Always so satisfying. There's even challenge trials. These test your skills and they are pretty fun to get a high rank on, and it only gets harder with each passing trial. Sadly, that is all the praises I can give because the combat gets boring after a little while. A big major flaw this game has is that there's no other weapons or combos. Why is this an issue? Well, you're gonna be seeing the same combat for your entire playthrough. Okay, why is there no new combos to learn, or weapons for that matter? Yeah, I know the sword is important, but if that were the case, it didn't need to repeat the same combos over and over. In fact, out of the entire game, I only counted 2 combos, and that is pathetic. Granted, the gameplay is fun enough, but that is only if you didn't decide to marathon the game, which I did. It really need combos that you can learn, but sadly you don't. Instead, what you earn is experience to upgrade the 4 stats available: health, attack, defense, and Fidget's projectile attacks. Every time you level up, you will get a skill point to invest in any one of these. Yeah, it's kind of funny that he explodes in excitement every time he passes a level, but it makes me wonder how strong the villagers are in this game. If a simple explosion doesn't hurt them, then I don't know what will. Wish I could say the same thing to my friends. Oops. But yes, you also do side quests for these villagers, and it's mostly the same thing. Just get them something and they will give you rewards such as money and materials. Yeah, not a lot of variety here. So overall, the gameplay is good, but it could have been a lot better than what we got. Dust is a pretty good game, but man does it feel like it lacks on certain areas. The game is reasonably priced, and while I got this on sale for $8, it cost $15 just to get it, and at that price it is worth it. I do think the game should get a sequel, and thankfully the creator is planning on it. May not be a while, but I am super excited for it. I do hope it expands on all the mechanics and story here, but time will tell. Do I recommend this game? I say if you want a pretty fun time waster, this title does fit in that category, and for a game ported to the Switch and not going for the $20 price tag, that is respectable from the developer. I give Dust An Elysian Tale a C+. A fun time waster despite the heavy flaws. This is the Animewolfgamer here, and I hope the next day will be even better. See ya!
And truth be told, I miss you. And truth be told, I'm lying. When you see my face, hope it gives you hope.
You know, since the Smash announcer lent his voice into this, one has to wonder. Hey, the companion theory is strong, so it could happen, but that is just me.